Hi, I'm CJ Pounder, and this is my wife, Andrea Pounder. And we've been married for 31 years. We have 3 boys.
2 daughter-in-laws and 4 adorable grandchildren, and 1 on the way.
I'm in the jewelry business and been in the jewelry business my whole life. I'm a second generation jeweler. My father started the business, a retail jewelry store that I run today. I always have looked at it as a ministry and working with couples that are getting engaged, special anniversaries, being involved with people in their special moments of their lives. But we've also decided that we need to be looking for how the Spirit wants us, how God wants us to take opportunities, and He's provided different opportunities before us.
Though we had been, giving back into the community and ministering that way, we felt like I was feeling that God wanted us to do something beyond the borders of our local community. And I think just with an increased awareness of the suffering and great need in so many places of the world. And so I think that stirring began, and I just started praying, more specifically what He wanted us to do. And then as the children's home in Ghana, the Sawla Children's Home, began, that was our opportunity to be able to do that. We felt like that was an opportunity to just support a child, just started just in a real simple way.
Start small.
But with children's homes, there's always need. There were needs that were coming up that we'd been made aware about.
I always had the attitude, I guess I can give more money, but it's like the Spirit spoke to me and said, "You're a jeweler. You've been a jeweler for 30 years, and you know this business. You know all aspects of it. The buying, the selling. You have contacts that are within it. Start a nonprofit. Go to Ghana. Buy jewelry from the Ghanaian jewelers, and provide them a living wage, and bring it back to the United States. Sell it to other jewelers, wholesaler, and then send the profits back to the children's home." And I went, "Oh, that's a big idea. That's a lot of, that's no small thing." And so did a lot of praying about it, talked to Andrea about it.
We did.
And talked to some other folks and got their take on it, and said,
Wisdom.
let's start it. And so we did. We started a company called 501c3 Jewelry. I never would have imagined that the jewelry business would have been used, or that we would have been used in this way. I think Andrea asked me at some point what my thoughts were about how we got involved and why we got involved, and I had no intentions. Didn't plan on it. Didn't want to.
Not to the degree that we're.
Wasn't looking for it.
Now.
Right. Well, not that we're right on the front lines in missions or anything like that, but just that we would use the jewelry business for doing what we're doing, trying to support an orphanage. The jewelry business, the retail jewelry business, has kind of given us a way to start out. Jewelry is used all over the world, and so it's given us connections and people that we have talked with at some of the different conventions and so forth all over the world, gave us knowledge, I guess, of how to even do it. So, it's fun to see God's creativeness and how He would use. Never had a thought that this would occur.
It's been a wonderful door opener, I think, to be able to share with people about the Children's Home in Ghana, and just the opportunity that we have had to be a part and come alongside and assist people who are so needy, so far away, with desperate needs. And what a blessing it's been to us. And then the conversation can blossom from there as to why we do it. I had a nurse practitioner one time at the doctor's office ask me, "Why are you doing this?" And I I was just so thankful for the opportunity to be able to share with her as to why. Because to her, she saw it as just a temporary Band-Aid on a problem that was much too big for just a few people to make a difference. But we know that God can take just a few loaves and fishes and do great things with it. And so it's up to Him. But it does give a wonderful open door, even in the grocery store, to be able to talk to people about it. And
God's wired each one of us uniquely and given us desires in our heart of
abilities,
what we do.
Talents.
And I love what I do. I would encourage people that use the talents, the gifts, and how He's blessed you and how He uses you for His glory. And yeah, it takes some figuring out as to what that is, and we're not there yet either.
Not at all.
It's a fun ride.
It is.
And so, what that looks like, it looks like something different for everyone. He is a creative God, and so He cares about each one of us uniquely.
And, asking the Lord for an opportunity. And when those opportunities come along, seek wise counsel to see, maybe some of the practical ways that you can begin that process, and to make sure you're headed in the right direction, and do it. Don't just think about it and dream about it. It is such a blessing to be used by God to help others.
How do you know that God is leading you and directing you? When I had that moment of where that idea popped into my head, I really felt like that was not for me. But still, we wanted to check that out, and we talked to wise counsel of other people, prayed about it, kind of put my foot in the water. We started to actually said, well, let's get started. Let's see how this goes. And everything kind of seemed to fall together. And
slowly at first,
yeah.
Very slowly.
On the U.S. side here, it fell together very, very easily, and everyone wanted to help out, and it was very clear that wow, there seems to be an interest in this and a market for this, and then we had a problem. There was no inventory, and we were not able to contact the people that we needed over in Ghana, and so we prayed about it, and all of our friends were telling us, you've got to go. You've got to go. And I wasn't listening because I kept saying, no, I don't need to go. That's a waste of money.
He's a very good steward with resources. And
that can be used to help get this company going, that same money. I don't know how many times I said no, but my employees, fellow business people, fellow Christians, just a lot of people said, go.
Your wife.
My wife. But so I finally, Ron Phillips called me up when there was a cancellation on the trip, and he said, would you like to go? And I did the normal Christian response, I'll pray about it. And so.
And we did.
And we did. But it was one of those things that I still didn't intend to go. My heart wasn't there yet, and so it was getting down to where the time he had to know, and he called me up and said, well, are you going to go or not? And I said, well, okay, I need to know a few more questions. I answered here. How much time will I have on the ground in Ghana? I said, okay, I've got to set this up, so I need some time, and specifically in Accra, because that's the capital. And
that's where the jewelers, majority of the goldsmiths and jewelers would be. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so he explained that we would fly into Accra, we would then drive to Kumasi, and then drive on up to Sawla, and then we would come back by an alternate route, and that I would have Monday to establish this. And I said, Monday? How can I do this in one day? I couldn't do that in the United States if you dumped me into a strange city. And so he said, you just need to have faith. And it was another one of those moments. I was actually praying the next morning, and in my heart, God said, if I can create the world by speaking it into existence, I can do what you'll reveal in about an hour. all the way through this, there has been signs that his hand has been heavy. Everything that I tried to put together from a distance fell apart. When we finally got there, everything that we had prearranged fell apart. And out of nowhere, the contacts came, and it was pretty much set up. And that 1 hour thing that I had mentioned was pretty significant, because once we got there, it was all set up. It was already done. We didn't have to do it. So he is a God that can create the world by speaking it into existence, and he can do a jewelry deal in an hour.